Hello guys, it's Andy the Angry White Lawyer here again. Iran. Well, the questions surrounding Iran, there's a number, aren't there? Is the attack by the US and Israel justified? Uh, and what are the wider implications for the Middle East and so on? What about Britain's involvement, if any? And more importantly, let's take a look at who is supporting the mullahs. That's the purpose of this video. So Iran, well, my take is that they've had it coming for a long, long time. Obama and Biden, both terrible presidents, and I was actually glad when Obama won twice. But turned out to be a really bad president, did nothing for America, nothing for Black America, and ended up appeasing Iran with pallet loads of cash. Biden did the same thing with paying them loads of money for hostages. Really wasn't a strong president. And Trump has had enough. Decade upon decade of Iranian kids being taught to chant death to America, death to Israel. And I guess that, you know, when a country's leaders say that it wants to wipe another country, Israel, off the map and is developing a possible nuclear weapon, possibly, then you better take them seriously. And there would be a bigger disaster down the track. They've tried talking to them. There have been negotiations recently. I think Steve Witkoff from the US administration was involved with that. Obviously, nothing came of it. They weren't prepared to budge on it, and Trump has had enough. And I think this has largely been brought about by the protests in Iran, where thousands upon thousands of people were literally machine gunned in the street by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which is a terrorist organization, of course. So, but my personal view is they've had it coming for a long time. It puts China in a difficult position regarding their oil supply. Who gives a shit about that? I don't. But yeah, I think they've been playing fast and loose. They used the Biden and Obama money to enable Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis. And yeah, some would say, and I've seen this said, that Biden was in many ways responsible for October the 7th. And I kind of agree with that. That whole operation was funded by American money given to the Iranian regime. But Trump is having none of it. And but you can agree or disagree on that. The fact that there are people celebrating. Now let's have a look at who's celebrating and who's not celebrating. And then we'll make a decision on who is on the right side of history. So the people celebrating seem to be people throwing their hijabs off in Tehran and dancing in the street, and I've seen footage of that. There are some people in Iran, no doubt, who are mourning the loss of their beloved leader. This is a particular meme that I thought was, sorry, it's quite funny. So, yeah, the people celebrating, it gives us an indication about the rights and wrongs of this. And people calling it similar to an Iraq invasion, it's nonsense. It's completely different. Iraq was an ill-advised, stupid expedition, if that's the right word, exploit, war, whatever you want to call it. It was really daft, and I think most people now realise that, and a lot of us said so at the time. This is a little different. And I'm not even sure that regime change is at the end of the Trump agenda, because are you going to achieve that from the air? Probably not. There's only one way that that's going to happen, and that's if the Iranian people rise up in some way and make change for themselves, which is the right way to go about it. Trump seems to have opened the door for them. It's up to them now whether they're going to go through it or not. But look what happened with Venezuela. There was no regime change as such there. He just decapitated the leader effectively and said to the replacement, play nice, or the same thing's going to happen to you. And I think this could be that's what's happening here. Whoever takes Khamenei's place will have to change their ways, stop the funding of terror groups, and let your people have real elections, or there'll be consequences. That's what I think. Wholesale regime change may not be on the agenda. Let's wait and see. So back to who's celebrating, and those people in the street seem to be celebrating. Expats across Europe and even in places like California, Los Angeles, they were on the streets praising Trump and so on. You can't ignore these people. These people are in those countries because they've had to flee the regime there. It's a regime that has brutally oppressed its people, and a regime that has, as I said, spread terror around the world. This isn't opinion, it's just fact. The question is what to do about it. So those people are celebrating. It seems to me ordinary Iranians seem to be celebrating. I've seen footage from Iran, from schools with smoke billowing in the background, where the kids are jumping around with joy and saying that they love Trump. And you can see it's from Iran because there's like smoke from the bombs billowing in the background. So those are the people who are celebrating, and I'm on their side. I don't know about you. So who's not celebrating? Who supports the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard? So it's interesting that there was a rally recently in support of the IRGC, and look who was there. This guy. He is Muffin Ali. He is the deputy leader of, guess what? The Greens. Yeah, he supports the IRGC, a body that has annihilated protesters in Iran and oppressed its people. This is the people that Gordon and Denton voters have just voted in. I've also seen a picture. Now, I don't know if this is true. I saw it on X. I don't really involve myself that much with X, but I take a dive into that cesspit now and again. And I saw this on X, and it's purportedly a picture of the newly elected MP, Hannah Spencer, who is expressing solidarity with her Muslim neighbours over the loss of the great leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. I don't know if it's genuine or what. I simply don't know, but that's what's being said. It's despicable, isn't it? But what's even more despicable than all that is Zach Polanski going on Laura Kuenssberg and saying that it's an illegal act and we've got to condemn it, and I'm disappointed in Starmer because he didn't condemn this act, and it's outrageous, it's illegal, and so on. I didn't hear anything from him or his party when ordinary people were being massacred, when ordinary people in Iran were being brutalized, or when their money given to them by the West was going to terror groups. I didn't hear anything from them then. It's weird, isn't it? But now it's illegal. And of course, they're in the same bed as Corbyn, aren't they? They're exactly the same as Corbyn, who has also come out and criticised the US and Israeli action. But he would, wouldn't he? He is the classic useful idiot. I think it was Starling. I think it was Stalin that actually coined that phrase. But I'll look that up and I'll post something here. But the IRA have used it as well, and they saw Corbyn as a useful idiot, and they've said so since. Because people who are aligned with you on issues like that, who are in the other camp in the West, they are a mouthpiece for you, aren't they? So they are useful idiots. So Polanski's nothing but a useful idiot, as is Corbyn. And is this newly elected MP, who's an airhead, I'm afraid. But that's my take. I think that look at the people who are celebrating, look at the people who are condemning what's happened, and you get an idea of where you should be on the right or the wrong side of history.